challenges due to COVID-19. Today, I thought we would change gears a little bit and do something a little bit more enjoyable and something that can help you, your clients, and you in your practice. Today, I'm joined by three of MSATP corporate partners. Jack Pittis of Quest Insurance. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Sandy.
Gene Hamilton of TASC. Hey, Gene.
Hello.
Ashley of Registered Agents. Hey, Mike. Good morning.
Hi, Sandy. Good morning.
Good. Each of these gentlemen will be sharing information about great benefits that are for you and your clients, and a great many opportunities that you may have for savings for you and your clients. So first up, we're going to have Jack from Quest. And I know, Jack, you have Sammy with you, and we're going to try to keep our social distancing. So, Jack, you got the floor.
Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, so we're Quest Insurance. We're located in Chantilly, Virginia, but we do business in pretty much all the states and all 50 states. We're a full-service brokerage, which basically means we can service both the property and casualty needs of our clients, as well as the employee benefits, what we call them. So you have the health, dental, vision, life, and long-term care. We're very small business oriented. We are a small business ourselves. We're a very tight-knit family, so we do kind of focus on treating our clients like they're part of the family. So we're kind of big on that. I'll let Sammy come in. He's the agency principal. I'll let him kind of talk about the history of Quest.
Good morning, Sammy.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you? Thanks,
Fine,
everybody.
thank you.
Wonderful opportunity here. So Sammy Satori is my name. I'm the agency principal and the founder of the organization. The agency spans since 1992, and delighted to have Jack here, part of the team and helping MSATP. We are delighted and excited to be a contributing member of the MSATP family. And I hope through this seminar and some of the information we're going to convey, you'll see the value proposition that we have for you, both in terms of quality of product, but also very, very valuable, very aggressive pricing. Our focus here in the agency, and I tell all my employees to really focus exclusively on the benefit of the member, i.e. provide them value, information, and guide them to make the best decision possible. And we think here through these products that we're going to talk to you about and some philosophical discussion we can have with the different members, you'll see the value that we will bring each and every member of the organization. With that said, I'm going to pass it back to Jack to talk to you about some of the property and casualty products that we put in place that are very exciting, very attractive. I'll take back the floor. I'll talk a little bit about the benefits, and then we'll open for some questions from you, three members of the panel. Thank you very much. Jack, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. So on the property and casualty side, we represent just about all the major carriers you can think of, all the ones that you see in commercials and ones you maybe never heard of. That's what allows us to get optimal prices on the market. Specific benefits for the members, we actually have an online portal for professional liability. You just go in, if you're under $250,000 in revenue, you qualify. All you have to do is go in, input some info, it'll give you a quote, and then you can actually bind the quote through the system. It takes about 5 minutes. Everyone who's gone through it says it's super easy. I tell everyone it's like shopping online. And then on the other side, we also have, I know cyber is a hot button issue right now. And typically a cyber application would be 4 to 6 pages long, but I've managed to get one down to one easy page, and I can actually turn around some quotes within like 24 hours for anyone interested in that. And then obviously the other basic coverages, your general liability, business property, hired non-owned auto, workers' comp. We can assist with all of those as well. And then I'll go back to the cyber, because one thing I'm also sending to a lot of people is just kind of proactive measures. So we have a lot of risk management checklists we're able to use and that are provided by the carriers, as well as just basic solutions to make sure your database system and cybersecurity is enhanced. I'm going to run out. Let me run out and get Sammy real quick so you can talk about the other benefits.
No, it's Jack. Jack, stay there for a minute. Just real quick. Just real quick on the cybersecurity side. So with all of many companies working from home now, is the coverage that you're currently offering covering not only the main office but also the possibility of home office situations? Where are we at there?
So yeah, so when you get a standalone, I'm referring to a standalone cyber policy. So a lot of your basic commercial packages will have cyber components included in it, but we always recommend to have a standalone cyber policy because it will cover you for both what's called first party and third party. So the first party is your actual stuff that you own, so your actual data. So if you get first party coverage, it'll provide you with cost of notifying any of your clients if their credit card data has been compromised, cost of restoring and recovering data that may have been stolen or damaged. There's also like credit card monitoring services that the insurance carrier will provide for that. And then the third party liability is for if the company is held liable for being negligent in storing and protecting other people's data. And there's a bunch of stuff involved in that, but essentially it would cover you whether you work from home or from the office. And because now cyber criminals are kind of preying on this telecommuting situation, you're seeing a lot more claims coming in. So we're trying to make sure everyone's properly covered before that all happens. So
Now, you were saying that you had a checklist of some sort? What was the checklist?
So we have carrier checklists basically from Chubb and Hanover are kind of the two we like to use for cyber policies. And they have some great checklists that can kind of show you, you can kind of just run down and see, okay, I have this in place, this in place, this in place. And then just make sure you're taking those protective measures.
I think that's a great tool. Do you think we can share that with the membership?
We can, yeah. I try to, every time I will send an application, I always send the checklist as well. And yeah, it's definitely something that we can definitely send out.
Yeah, that's a great tool for us to have. So you said Sammy stepped out of the office real quick?
He just stepped back in, so I'll let him talk about the.
Okay, great. All right, Sammy, you want to talk real quick about the benefits?
Absolutely. So very quick for the few minutes remaining, I just want to emphasize the fact that the package that we put in place for the membership includes a dental, a vision, and a life and a long-term disability, long-term care package. So on the dental package, the member will have two options to pick from. One is a health maintenance organization, which is an HMO, which basically a network of physician, of dentists that the member had to pick from. The beauty about this is the fact that if you found a dentist that you like, then the cost of your care would be dramatically reduced in a sense that you just pay a copay for any of the service and there is no limit to the policy. On the other hand, if you would like to have the freedom of going in and out of network, then we have an option called PPO, Preferred Provider Organization, providing you with an in-network benefit of 100% for the preventive, 80% for the basic, and 50% for the major. That includes, of course, the basic is prevention, your X-ray, your oral exam, your fluoride treatment. Your basic is orthodontic and periodontic, and then 50% for your major, like for instance, a bridge or a crown or things of that sort. Again, the premiums on these are very reasonably priced, and the network is very extensive. And we are working with the carrier actually to emphasize and increase a little bit of a network reach in some of the pockets in Maryland, and they've been very, very responsive. To the maximum in the PPO is $1,500 a year, which is very decent and the negotiated rates. Now, however, if you step out of the network, that $1,500 may only be covering certain amounts because there is no limit as to what the dentists provide. There is no contractual agreement. The vision coverage is also with the same carrier, Dominion. They provide a very rich benefit. It's 12-12-12, means every 12 months you're allowed an eye exam, every 12 months a frame and lenses. And so therefore, lots of the other vision plans out there can be 12, 24 or things of that nature. So this one is pretty rich. Again, the eye exam is very inexpensive. It's only $10 per eye exam per year, every 12 months. And again, the lenses and the other services, if you find them in a network and you find a provider that's sort of convenient to you, the cost is very minimal. Finally, we want to talk about the group life or a life insurance policy with Transamerica that we managed to actually negotiate very good terms with the carrier. Typically, in any life policy procurement, the individual, the insured, has to go through medical underwriting, the carrier has to underwrite and find out what the risk is in terms of both health, situation, background, and things of that nature. With this particular product, the member would have $50,000 worth of guaranteed issue, no question asked, whatever health condition you're in, and it's age-based premium, allowing it to be very reasonably priced. So we urge you, particularly in this time, we feel like this is a very attractive proposition. It's very hard to come by and find a carrier that provides such a thing. and the price of these plans have been very, very reasonably set up. Furthermore, in addition to the life insurance component, in addition to the component that we discussed, we have an additional value added, which is the long-term care component. In other words, the face amount of this policy can become a long-term care in case the person loses 2 out of 6 activities of daily living. And that amount is 2% of the face amount. So for instance, if you pick $50,000, it becomes $1,000 on a monthly basis, and so on and so forth. And so the member can procure up to $500,000 worth of coverage. So it's pretty high amount. But anything over 50, they have to, of course, do some medical underwriting. And in some situations, if the member is over 50, they may ask a few questions and do some other requests. The policy itself, the way it's priced and the way it's set up, has lots of advantages. If you were to go in the marketplace by yourself and try to procure the same product, you'll find very quickly that the price is higher and the requirement for procuring that coverage is much more complicated. So we feel like all these added together are a very nice package from the member. We are very much service oriented, so we will explain, we'll work with through, and if a member would like to have anything more than the guaranteed issue, we're here to assist and help. Question, Sandy?
Yes. So in any case, on any of the providers or any other programs, Jack will be their point of contact, correct? For any of them?
Indeed, Jack has been, he excited working with the members. I think some of them call him like a son. And
yes.
We love him here as well. So Jack is backed by a whole team. We have a 15 employee here family, and they're really excited every time Jack brings back a question or something like that. Everybody stepped in to help, and of course I'll be here as well. But we're excited to work with you. The key here is to make sure the member knows that not only did we make sure to provide them some wonderful value products, but also the price of these products are very, very competitive if you compare them to the marketplace.
Right. And the important thing here is also, while they're sitting home working, and this is in all cases, whether it be with Michael Ashley or Gene Hamilton, that you're home working, that you guys are still working and available. And in some of the cases, we do have a drop dead date on certain items and certain programs that we're doing with the insurance. So make sure that, that's also expressed. So if you're sitting home and you're looking for something to do, and just give them a call. I know all of these gentlemen will be willing to help. So thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Jack.
Thank
so
you,
let's
Sandy.
go ahead and turn it over to Michael Ashley of Registered Agents. Hi, Michael. How are you doing?
Hey, Sandy. Fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Michael's been a longtime partner of the society. So, Michael, the floor is yours.
Okay, great. Yeah, Sandy, like I said, I've been a longtime partner. I've been in business now for 21 years this month. And for the majority of that part, probably over 15, probably closer to 18 years, I've been doing these corporate sponsors and exhibiting at the seminars for the members. And so I appreciate that. It's been a great partnership. It's a great organization. And what we do here at Registered Agents, we are actually your source to have formations done, LLCs, corporations, any of your clients, or even we've had members that form their own LLCs with us. We're a low-cost provider. We charge $79 plus the state fee. Many of you, if you go to the MSATP seminars, you'll see me pass out this $20 off coupon that we keep for any new orders for clients. And what we basically do, I have a staff here that will take your information. We do not give legal advice. We're just a service provider to help clients and individuals form companies or LLCs on their own, or take their business and want to register to do business in another state. We will provide a resident registered agent and arrange that for $99 a year in any state. So that's kind of what we're in the business of doing. We do other things like get corporate kits or do UCC searches and filings, but the majority of our business is new formations and taking businesses that need to do business in multiple states and registering to do business in all the other states. So glad to be here this morning. I didn't want to take too much of your time, but just kind of see that we have a staff here that you call the office Anytime our website is IncLegal, that's INCLegal, legal.com. But we still have a staff here. A lot of them are working remotely and set up, but they can access their computer here at the office. And with that, we have access to many of the Secretary of States. Like, we're online with the state of Delaware. We can print off good standings, scan and do filings, same day filings. Delaware even has a 2-hour filing window. Most of the formation times, vary from 3 to 5 business days that we can get your paperwork done, make sure the name's available, and take that filing and get your client or yourself officially registered to do business in a state. I have oftentimes I share the benefits of incorporating a business without getting any legal advice, but there are a lot of reasons. The majority of the people are doing it for personal property protection, that they don't want to have their personal assets subject if something goes wrong with the business or there's a liability in the business. There's also many tax advantages to forming LLCs or corporations, S corps, for clients and companies. So that's another reason why people are forming entities. With times like these, a lot of people are interested in, hey, I've got an idea. I'm not working. I want to start my own business and get started. We'd be glad to help you out with that. An ideal client would be someone who's successful in business and they're expanding and registering to do business in other states. And we take that business and what's called qualify them to do business in another state, which is really incorporating them in another state, but it's keeping their home state as the official state, and it's taking that company and registering it to do business in another state, and so on. So if you guys have any questions about that or anything, I'd be glad to field them.
Michael, you a very good point up. Is one of the great things about your company is every company now, if they're not going global or national, I think they're missing the boat, because they have a great opportunity to do that with the internet now and the availability of the World Wide Web. And so you take that issue, that problem, or that little task off of their plate, so they can really focus on their businesses and really expanding it to other states. And having you available to them to deal with all that process of being registered in a state is a true benefit, not only for the members, but you also do this for their clients, correct?
That's correct. And what it is we don't want to give legal advice. A lot of my clients, in the name is Registered Agents Legal Services. Really, the legal services, because my initial market was to law firms. We're an assistant to help these formation documents at a reasonable price. We're helping people do it themselves. But for $79, why take the hassle of trying to do the paperwork? It's not rocket scientist, but can it be a hassle to make sure you have the right form, checking to see if it's filed. If you're giving this to us, we're making sure it gets filed, and you're paying one fee. It's not an hourly rate, and we'll do it for that fee until it's filed and registered to do business. So it's something that you're starting a new business or doing something. You want to focus on what you're doing and not the paperwork of submitting documents and preparing these documents to make sure they're actually filed and gone through and taking those steps. So it's hopefully an ease of mind. And for less than if they were to go to an attorney, and if they need an attorney and certain agreements, definitely we're not to replace that. But if they have a pretty straightforward situation where they need to file a document and be registered in another state or officially, get going, it's not a huge expense to waste all your time and frankly, a lot more money to maybe do all this when you're just starting a business and don't have the resources sometime to spend that much. So hopefully that's a good service that we can provide.
Sure. So since we're possibly will be going to more webinars, having that little coupon that you give out at the webinars, do you think it's possible that we can get a PDF of that we can put on our website, so that people come on board, they can still use that and have that benefit?
I'll scan it in, hopefully get a color copy this morning and have it over to you, and that'll be great for clients. Because a lot of times, people, you don't have to, you're doing it online. Most of the people are calling our office or emailing us anyway. and all they really have to do is mention that I was given,
Okay.
referred by so and so is usually enough. But if they say I have a $20 off, my staff will honor that and apply that to their order to get going and be introduced to us to have us help them with any service they need.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael, for extending that. Thank you so
Sure.
much. So, Jean, you've been so patient, sitting in the wings there, waiting for us. So, now we're going to hear from Jean Hamilton of TASC. Now, Jean, I know there's so much things going on right now with the FMLA and what's happening on your benefits for employees. I mean, your phone must be ringing off the hook right now. Okay, well, Jean might not. Jean doesn't seem like he can be hearing us. Michael, can you say
Hey,
something?
Gene, are you up?
Yeah.
You're up now. So
You're up, Jean.
Okay, Sandy, I just wanted to say thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Sandy, I just can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I had sent you an email. I
Okay.
can't hear your questions.
Okay.
well, I'll
So-
relay them to you, Gene, if you need me to. But
You're great, Mike. I appreciate
I love
that.
it.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thanks for having me, everybody. TASC is an administrator that has been in business helping small businesses for over 40 years. We like to think of ourselves as the most trusted administrator in the country. I have worked with MSATP for 10 years, and my partner, Dana Brunn, has worked with MSATP for almost 20 years. So you have both of us to help you out. I concentrate on the small businesses. Dana concentrates on the 50 and over businesses. So we try to bring value to MSATP because most of you folks that work with small businesses can save them additional dollars through HRAs or flex benefits or HSAs. And so we're here. We try to make the process easy as possible. What we do is you have a short conversation with your client and then tell them that somebody from TASC will be calling them, and we call them up, ask them how they file as a business, how many employees they have, what type of insurance they have, and ask them if they're married. By knowing the answers to those questions, we're able to know where they fit within the tax saving benefit world. We've been specializing in 105 HRAs for over 40 years. We are the experts in those Section 105 HRAs where a married sole proprietor can hire their spouse or a one employee corporation. They can just, those corporations don't need to hire their spouse. We're just changing the way that they're paying those expenses. We're taking those self-employed healthcare deductions and those non-qualified itemizations, and we're turning those into an employee benefit and moving those premiums off the front page of the 1040 and the out-of-pockets off of the Schedule A. We're moving them over to the benefit line on the profit and loss statement. When they end up there, they're saving on the average $5,000 or $6,000. We make it easy for these people to use these HRAs. They have been a compliant deduction for over 50 years. So these are one of those long-standing, trusted, compliant deductions that people definitely should look at using when they're a small business. There's more things that can be done with HRAs nowadays because of the changes that are happening every day. HRAs can help people in more ways than before. So the ACA, as it's changing or its effects have changed, we're able to help people out. Say an employer wants to give they don't sponsor group health, but they want to give those employees some dollars. If they want to do those for the out-of-pocket expenses, we can make that super easy through an HRA. So everybody that does taxes has seen a lot of people or talked with a lot of people lately about their tax situation. So they realize that maybe some of those employers or those small mom and pop businesses have incurred some sort of healthcare expenses, where it was a hospital stay or dental surgery or the birth of a child, whatever it may be. If those expenses have been incurred in 2020, we should definitely talk to that client about utilizing an HRA to make those expenses fully deductible. As I said, we audit guarantee everything we do. And because we can sign people up anytime during the year and go back to January 1st and save the 15.3% on the premiums, signing up for one of these 105 HRAs always makes sense. We get busiest at the end of the year when people have talked to their tax professional and they've seen that they're paying a lot of premiums and have had some out-of-pocket expense. They need to put an HRA in place to help those companies. Again, my partner, Dana Brunn, especially during this time when people have questions about emergency paid leave and FMLA and other things, they should reach out to Dana. If they have 50 or more employees, they should reach out to Dana. They can reach him anytime at 443 794 8019. Dana has been doing this a long time. He's very good at what he does. I appreciate Dana because he set the foundation with MSATP. So Dana can help those folks that need help with compliance or paid leave or anything that they have questions about with the crisis now that's going on, people laying people off and wanting to do what they can to help them. Just to harken back to those 105 HRAs, remember that S Corps can use those 105 HRAs. When we talk about a 105 HRA for an S Corp, we look at whether they have high out-of-pocket expenses. If they have high out-of-pocket expenses, it makes sense for those S Corps to utilize a 105 HRA. TASC is also moving into a new landscape of employee benefits. TASC is taking HRAs, HSAs, and flex benefits that have all lived in their own silos, so to speak. TASC is taking those benefit programs out of their own silos, putting them on one plane, in one program, so that an employer who might need HRA or HRA benefits for their employees, maybe they need to use an HSA for themselves, maybe they have crazy expenses like a uniform expense, or they want to create an employee who a benefit for an employee who is paying back a college loan. There's a lot of accounts that we can set up, and what we're calling this program is the the Universal Benefit Account. So TASC is gonna set the stage for a whole new world of employee benefits with the Universal Benefit Account. If you guys have questions about any employers that have significant health care expenses or questions during these crazy times, please have them reach out to Dana or myself. I, again, take care of the small businesses, and Dana takes care of the 50 and over businesses. My number is 401 327 0166. I will prepare an updated one pager that I will send to Sandy and that she can send it out. Now, because I'm not able to hear any questions from Sandy, maybe Mike will help me out and see if anybody has a question for me.
Michael, are you there? Michael?
Hey, Andy, well, Gene, I know I deal sometimes directly with an accountant or CPA to help them with their client, and then sometimes they just want me to deal directly with their clients as well. I mean, do you find that as well in your line of work? Are you dealing with the members, or they're just getting referred over to your clients, or you're working with them simultaneously? How does that work for you?
We work with the members, and what we want to do, because we work with MSATP, we can any member that works with a lot of small businesses, they can we can give them some education about everything we do, and then what we prefer to, that the procedure that works best is if they have a short conversation with that client about whether an HRA will work for them, then they just inform that client that they'll be hearing from us, either me or my partner Noah, and we'll call that client directly. And again, what we'll do is we'll do a little research on their company, how they file as a business, how many employees they have, what kind of insurance they have, are they married? By knowing the answers, we know whether it's going to be an HRA, whether they're going to need flex benefits, or whether they're going to need an HSA. So, and then we educate the client on the deduction type. If it's an HRA, we explain to them how HRAs work. And typically, what I tell them is I tell them an HRA gives them the ability to get better tax treatment on their healthcare expenses, both premiums and out of pockets. And so we explain to them how it works, that they pay those expenses out of their personal account, and the business account reimburses the personal account. That way, the IRS looks at it as a compliant 105 health reimbursement arrangement, and they're able to take that deduction on the benefit line on their profit and loss statement. When things end up on the benefit line, they're tax free. So we make it easy and convenient because we issue debit cards to make sure that those doctor copays or dentist copays or prescriptions, that they can swipe a TASC card. We tie it to their business account. They can swipe that TASC card. That TASC card will pay that recognized eligible expense. We will send them an email saying, okay, this eligible expense of $25 was incurred at Walgreens. We then ACH it out of the business account, paying the card back. It goes in as a ledger entry on their deduction. So at the end of the year, when we send them a transmittal, everything that the business owner and the spouse have used those cards on be pre-filled in. They fill in who they paid their premiums to, what carriers, send that back to us. We put it in a year-end report that we send that back to them, and that's what they take into their tax professional.
Yeah.
So
I haven't
TASC
had
been doing this a
referrals
long
from
time.
TASC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had referrals from TASC to set up the business so they can start taking advantage of some of your services.
Right.
So
I'll tell you that's one of the great things.
Well, thanks
and,
very much, Mike.
Yeah. And
any other questions, do you think?
Michael, just tell Gene that thank you. Right now we have no other questions.
Mike,
no other questions now, Gene. Sandy's just saying thank you. It was a great job.
Right.
And
And Jack and Michael,
thanks. Everybody stay safe, please, and we'll get through this together.
Yes. Michael and Jack, can you actually share with the audience your contact information, your phone number, in case anybody wants to call?
Sure. Just so as I say it, our 800 number, it's 800-400-6650. And again, the website is inclegal.com. It's inclegal.com. You call that 800 number right now. We're just like it's getting transferred into a voicemail, an email into our shared drive, and someone will get right back to you. But call anytime and leave a message or check out our website. We'll be glad to help you out. Thanks.
And Jack?
Yep. So our direct office number, which is getting linked to all of our phones from home as well, they can do 703-961-8886. And then they can also reach us at 703-626-1353. And if they want to just email for information, they can go info@questinsurance.us.
Wonderful. Well, I want to personally thank each of you for all the support that you've given this society throughout the years. Your willingness to help our membership and myself and and their clients is really outstanding. And I'm telling you, you guys have you all provide great service, a very affordable product, and you give a huge support to our members, even with basic questions. And I just want to personally thank each of you. And please, Mike, if you can relay that to Gene, and I'll send him a little
Yeah.
email as well. So thank
Okay.
you, Gene.
Gene, thank you. Sandy really appreciates, what we do as corporate sponsor to help everybody out. And we appreciate Sandy and all her years with the Maryland Society of Accountants and now MSATP. We know you've done a great job. So you're going to be missed, but we're glad you're still with us and helping us out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, in closing, yesterday, everyone received an e-weekly newsletter in their inbox. As you can see, MSATP has taken steps on their educational offering due to the pandemic that we are all facing. Our first seminar is going to be May the 13th, which is a members-only event with Bob Jennings. We will be offering an 8-hour webinar on Social Security. And with our current environment, we are making adjustments on your learning experience. We will continue to offer you the best and most affordable education. However, on this event, we are going to move it into a webinar. This is going to be an 8-hour event, which is actually it was going to be scheduled in Frederick, but for those members who really are not living near the Frederick area, you now will have an opportunity to attend because you'll be able to be shown as a webinar. And this allows for our entire membership to join us. I hope for everyone that you will join us for this event. Bob, I know will do an amazing job doing it because he's an outstanding speaker. And the topic, Social Security, is one of those ones that you really think Social Security, but once you dive into it, there's a lot of little tidbits in there that you will need to know about when you're working with your client. So I hope you will join us on May 13th, as again, it will be a webinar. You can actually register online at our website. Also, we are all available to all of our members currently by way of email, by phone. We are all working very hard and can continue to support you, our membership, by giving you the most up-to-date information on all the happenings throughout Maryland, as well as the surrounding states, and also in the federal government as we actually go through this pandemic together. So until next time, I want everyone to take care of themselves, be safe, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.